Most people believe pancake mix is just flour.
Simple. Safe.
Something quick you use to make breakfast for your family. But that box sitting in your pantry right now very likely contains far more than flour. It may contain hidden sugars, shelf-life chemicals designed to last years, industrial oils your body struggles to process, and additives created to turn cheap ingredients into something that tastes homemade. I spent weeks analyzing ingredient labels, FDA guidelines, processing methods, and supply chains behind the most popular pancake mixes sold across the United States. What I found changes how you look at one of America's most trusted breakfast staples. Some of the biggest brands rely heavily on ultra-refined carbohydrates that spike blood sugar levels dramatically. Others depend on chemical leavening systems and artificial flavor compounds to simulate the taste of real home cooking. One brand on this list contains sugar levels comparable to dessert products, yet markets itself as a wholesome family breakfast.
And the worst offender?
It's one of the cheapest and most widely purchased pancake mixes in American supermarkets. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down 8 pancake mix brands sold in the United States that you should avoid, explaining exactly what's inside them, how they're manufactured, and why most consumers never notice. But this is not fear-based. By the end of this video, you'll also discover 2 pancake mix brands that are actually worth buying. Made with simpler ingredients, cleaner processing, and far more transparency. If you buy pancake mix regularly, if you cook breakfast for your kids, if you've ever believed flour is just flour, you need to watch this. Because once you understand what's really inside many pancake mixes, you don't unlearn it. Let's start with a brand almost every American household recognizes instantly. Bisquick. Bisquick isn't just a pancake mix. It's American kitchen history. The bright yellow box has been in homes for generations. It promises convenience, speed, and perfect results every time. Many families grew up believing Bisquick was practically homemade cooking. That image is powerful. But the ingredient label tells a very different story. The first major issue starts with the flour base. Bisquick uses heavily refined wheat flour. During large-scale industrial processing, wheat grains are stripped of their natural fiber, essential minerals, and micronutrients. What remains is primarily fast-digesting starch. To compensate, manufacturers add synthetic vitamins back into the flour. This process is called enrichment. But enrichment doesn't restore natural food structure. It recreates isolated nutrients artificially. That difference matters metabolically. Next comes sugar, often hidden behind alternative names like dextrose, corn syrup solids, or modified starch sweeteners. These ingredients rapidly increase blood glucose levels, triggering insulin spikes that lead to energy crashes and increased hunger. For children especially, this roller coaster effect can influence attention, mood stability, and appetite control. Bisquick also contains processed vegetable oils. These oils undergo chemical extraction and high-temperature refining. During these processes, certain oxidation byproducts can form, compounds linked in some nutritional studies to inflammatory responses when consumed frequently. Then there are anti-caking agents and stabilizers. These additives prevent clumping and allow the product to sit in storage warehouses and store shelves for extended periods. They improve manufacturing efficiency but provide zero nutritional value. Families trust Bisquick because it's reliable.
Because it's fast.
Because it produces identical pancakes every time. But that consistency comes from industrial formulation, not ingredient integrity. And perhaps the most concerning part is that this product is often marketed as an everyday breakfast solution for children. If you assumed this was the gold standard for pancake mixes, the next brand might surprise you even more. Pearl Milling Company Pancake Mix. For decades, this brand defined the classic American breakfast. Its legacy branding built trust around comfort, warmth, and tradition. Even after rebranding, the formula remains largely unchanged. The packaging still communicates family heritage and homemade flavor. But again, the ingredient label tells a deeper story. Like many mass-market mixes, Pearl Milling Company relies heavily on refined white flour. This removes most of the natural nutritional complexity found in whole grains. Then comes added sugar, often layered through multiple ingredient forms. Instead of listing sugar once, manufacturers distribute sweetness across several compounds, making the total sugar load less obvious to the average consumer. When cooked into pancakes, this mixture creates a product with a high glycemic index. That means blood sugar spikes quickly, followed by rapid drops in energy levels. For adults, this can contribute to overeating later in the day. For kids, it can affect focus and mood stability. The mix also uses artificial flavoring systems. These laboratory-developed compounds mimic buttery and sweet flavor notes without using real ingredient sources. They allow companies to reduce production costs while maintaining strong taste appeal. Additionally, chemical leavening agents create uniform pancake texture. While legal and widely used, these compounds are optimized for industrial consistency rather than nutritional quality. Families buy this brand believing they're cooking traditional breakfast foods. In reality, they're preparing a highly engineered product designed to simulate tradition. And the next brand pushes the illusion of homemade quality even further. Krustia's Pancake Mix. Krustia's markets itself as premium, rustic, and closer to homemade cooking. The packaging often features phrases like family recipe or artisan style. This branding attracts consumers searching for a higher quality alternative to mass-market pancake mixes. But ingredient analysis shows a much smaller difference than most buyers expect. The flour remains refined rather than whole grain in many product versions. That means the same fiber loss and nutrient stripping seen in cheaper brands still applies. Sugar content also remains relatively high, contributing to similar glycemic spikes during digestion. One often overlooked concern with Krustia's mixes is sodium concentration. Chemical leavening systems rely on sodium-based compounds to produce fluffy pancake texture. In several versions of the mix, sodium levels reach unexpectedly high amounts for what appears to be a sweet breakfast product. Excess sodium consumption over time contributes to cardiovascular stress and increased blood pressure risk, especially when combined with syrup and salted butter toppings. Krustia's also uses shelf stabilizers to maintain texture consistency during long distribution cycles. These ingredients help preserve uniform results but reinforce the product's dependency on industrial food chemistry. Consumers frequently pay more for this brand expecting cleaner ingredients. But in many cases, they're paying for elevated marketing language rather than significantly improved formulation. And the next brand leans heavily into convenience, while increasing reliance on processed ingredient systems. Hungry Jack Pancake Mix. Hungry Jack is one of the most recognizable pancake mix brands in the United States. It promotes simplicity, speed, and reliable breakfast preparation. The brand focuses strongly on ease of use, sometimes requiring only water to prepare the batter. That convenience is extremely appealing for busy families. But convenience almost always demands heavy industrial processing. Hungry Jack mixes combine refined flour with added sugars and highly processed vegetable oils. These oils extend shelf stability and reduce production costs, but they undergo significant chemical refinement. Certain refined oil processes create oxidative compounds that some nutritional research associates with inflammation when consumed frequently. Hungry Jack also incorporates artificial flavor enhancers to replicate buttery and sweet flavor profiles without using expensive natural ingredients. Chemical preservatives extend shelf life dramatically, allowing the product to remain stable throughout long distribution chains and storage periods. The result is a mix engineered for durability and consistency, rather than freshness or nutritional density. Families choose Hungry Jack because it saves time, because it produces predictable pancakes, because it feels dependable. But that dependability is built on food engineering, not ingredient simplicity. And now we reach a brand where affordability becomes the primary selling point. When price drops aggressively, ingredient quality often follows. Great Value Pancake Mix. Great Value Pancake Mix is one of the most widely purchased breakfast mixes in the United States for one simple reason: cost. This product targets families seeking maximum quantity at minimal price. During economic uncertainty, that promise becomes extremely attractive. But affordability often hides complex formulation compromises. The mix relies heavily on refined flour enriched with synthetic nutrients after processing. While legally fortified, it lacks the structural complexity of whole grain ingredients. Great Value Pancake Mix also tends to contain higher sugar ratios compared to several competing products. This increases taste appeal but contributes to rapid blood sugar fluctuations. Anti-caking agents and stabilizers allow the product to be stored in massive distribution systems for long periods without quality degradation from a manufacturing perspective. However, these additives contribute nothing nutritionally and reinforce the product's ultra-processed classification. Another invisible concern involves ingredient sourcing. Budget food products frequently rely on lower-cost ingredient suppliers, which may emphasize yield and storage stability rather than nutritional preservation. Millions of American families depend on this mix as a breakfast staple. Children eat it regularly. Parents trust it as basic food. Households rely on its affordability. But lower price points often mean heavier processing and reduced ingredient quality. And the next brand doesn't just compete on price. It competes on volume distribution across massive supermarket chains and introduces even more aggressive formulation shortcuts. Pillsbury Pancake Mix. Pillsbury is one of the most trusted food brands in American households. The smiling dough mascot represents comfort, convenience, and family cooking. Many people associate Pillsbury products with reliability and safe, familiar meals. That emotional connection is powerful. But when you analyze the pancake mix formulation, several concerns appear quickly. The foundation remains heavily refined wheat flour, processed to remove natural fiber and micronutrients. Like many industrial mixes, the lost nutrients are replaced artificially through vitamin enrichment. Again, enrichment recreates isolated nutrients, not whole food complexity. Pillsbury pancake mix also contains added sugars designed to enhance flavor and promote browning during cooking. These sugars contribute to the golden color consumers expect, but they also increase the glycemic load of the final meal. Another key ingredient category involves processed vegetable oils. These oils improve batter texture and shelf stability but undergo chemical refinement processes that may generate oxidation byproducts. The mix also contains chemical leavening agents that guarantee consistent pancake volume and softness. These compounds allow mass production to deliver identical results nationwide, but they further distance the product from traditional scratch cooking. Parents often choose Pillsbury because the brand feels safe, because it has been trusted for decades, because it carries strong family-oriented branding. But familiarity does not automatically equal nutritional quality. And the next brand takes convenience even further, especially targeting busy households with instant preparation claims. Complete Pancake and Waffle Mix by Hungry Jack, Just Add Water variants. These Just Add Water mixes are marketed as the ultimate breakfast shortcut.
No eggs. No milk.
No additional ingredients required. From a convenience perspective, this sounds ideal. But achieving this level of simplicity requires heavier processing and additional stabilizing chemicals. To eliminate the need for fresh ingredients, manufacturers incorporate powdered fats, milk substitutes, emulsifiers, and additional preservatives directly into the dry mix. This dramatically increases shelf life and consistency. But it also transforms the product into an even more engineered formulation. These mixes typically contain higher sodium concentrations because chemical leavening systems must compensate for the absence of fresh eggs or dairy binding agents. Artificial flavor systems are also intensified to mimic richness normally created by real butter, milk, or eggs. For families juggling busy mornings, these products appear extremely helpful. But removing fresh ingredients from cooking often means replacing them with industrial substitutes designed for storage rather than nourishment. Children frequently consume these mixes before school. Adults rely on them for quick breakfasts. The convenience is undeniable. But the ingredient complexity increases significantly compared to traditional pancake preparation. And now we arrive at the most concerning product category on this list. The one that pushes affordability and mass distribution to the extreme. Store brand economy pancake mixes, dollar store/extreme budget variants. These mixes are often sold under rotating generic brand labels across discount retailers and dollar store chains throughout the United States. They are marketed aggressively toward low-cost bulk breakfast preparation. And they represent the most extreme example of formulation shortcuts. These economy mixes rely almost entirely on ultra-refined flour with minimal enrichment standards. Ingredient sourcing often prioritizes cost efficiency over grain quality. Sugar content frequently exceeds levels found in many name brand mixes. This improves flavor appeal while masking ingredient quality differences. Vegetable oil substitutes and powdered shortening compounds replace natural fats, extending storage life dramatically but increasing processing complexity. Many of these mixes also contain elevated levels of anti-caking agents and texture stabilizers to prevent clumping during long storage periods in non-climate controlled environments. The most concerning issue is transparency. Economy store brands frequently provide minimal sourcing information, making it difficult for consumers to understand ingredient origin or quality control standards. These products are widely consumed in households facing financial pressure. Parents purchase them to stretch grocery budgets. Schools and community programs sometimes rely on them for bulk meal preparation. Families trust them because they appear to be simple flour-based foods. But these mixes often represent the highest level of industrial processing in the pancake mix category. They are engineered primarily for shelf stability, cost reduction, and mass distribution efficiency, not nutritional integrity. Not every pancake mix follows these industrial shortcuts. Some brands have invested in cleaner ingredient sourcing, simpler formulations, and more transparent production methods. Let's look at two options sold widely in the United States that stand apart. Bob's Red Mill Pancake Mix. Bob's Red Mill has built its reputation around whole grain ingredients and minimal processing. Their pancake mixes often use whole wheat flour, stone ground grains, and simpler ingredient lists that prioritize recognizable food components. Instead of stripping grains and reconstructing them synthetically, whole grain formulations retain natural fiber, vitamins, and mineral structures. That difference significantly improves digestion and blood sugar stability. Bob's Red Mill also avoids artificial flavor systems in many of its pancake mix varieties. The flavor comes primarily from the grain itself and natural seasoning ingredients. Many versions reduce or eliminate refined sugars entirely, allowing consumers to control sweetness externally rather than baking it into the base formula. The company emphasizes transparent sourcing and traditional milling techniques, which preserve more of the original grain integrity. The result is pancakes with firmer texture, deeper flavor, and slower carbohydrate absorption. These mixes sometimes cost slightly more than mass-market brands. That price difference reflects higher ingredient quality, smaller production scale, and less reliance on industrial stabilizing chemistry. For families wanting a more authentic breakfast option, this represents a significant improvement. And the next brand approaches clean ingredients from an organic sourcing perspective. King Arthur Baking Company Pancake Mix. King Arthur Baking Company is widely respected in the American baking industry for ingredient transparency and quality control standards. Their pancake mixes typically rely on unbleached flour and carefully selected grain sources, avoiding many of the chemical bleaching and refining processes used in lower-cost mixes. The ingredient lists are noticeably shorter and easier to understand. Many versions avoid artificial preservatives and synthetic flavor enhancers entirely. King Arthur also emphasizes responsible sourcing and consistent quality testing across batches. This reduces variability while maintaining ingredient integrity. Several pancake mix varieties from this brand also incorporate whole grains or higher protein content, helping reduce extreme blood sugar spikes associated with refined flour mixes. Flavor profiles tend to be more natural and less aggressively sweet, allowing families to customize toppings without overwhelming sugar intake from the base pancake itself. The texture often feels slightly denser compared to ultra-fluffy industrial mixes, which is a natural result of using less chemical leavening manipulation. Consumers who switch to these mixes often report better flavor balance and improved satiety after meals. Again, the cost is typically higher than economy pancake mixes. But the difference reflects ingredient sourcing, reduced processing, and stronger quality control standards. These two brands demonstrate something important. It is possible to buy pancake mix in the United States that prioritizes ingredient integrity over shelf life engineering. We just analyzed 8 pancake mix categories sold across the United States that raise serious concerns. From household names like Bisquick and Pillsbury to ultra-budget store brands, many of these products rely on the same hidden formula: heavily refined flour, layered added sugars,
Industrial oils. Chemical stabilizers.
artificial flavor engineering. Millions of families cook these pancakes believing they are preparing a simple, wholesome breakfast. Children eat them every weekend. Parents trust them because they feel traditional. Households rely on them because they are convenient and affordable. And legally, every one of these products meets current food safety regulations. But legality does not always equal transparency. It does not always equal nutritional quality. And it certainly does not mean the food resembles what most families imagine when they think of homemade pancakes. The good news is this: better options exist. Brands like Bob's Red Mill and King Arthur Baking Company prove that pancake mixes can be made with simpler ingredients, clearer sourcing, and less dependence on food engineering shortcuts. They show that convenience does not have to eliminate quality. Now the choice belongs to you. Open your pantry. Look at the pancake mix box you currently use. Read the ingredient list carefully. Are you serving your family food made from recognizable ingredients, or formulas designed primarily for storage, cost efficiency, and flavor simulation? If this video helped you uncover what's really inside one of America's most trusted breakfast foods, do 2 things right now. First, like this video. It helps support deeper investigations into everyday grocery products. Second, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another breakdown of what's really inside the food you buy. Because your family deserves real ingredients, real nutrition, real transparency. Not just familiar packaging. Not just convenience marketing. And once you know what's really inside pancake mix, you'll never shop for it the same way again.